requirements, and expectations. The main objective of this FDP are managing multiple roles and new responsibilities such as task-based learning and teaching, microgroup teaching, problem-based tutorials, case-based discussions, become mentors, develop and evaluate new curriculum. Also to develop activities that supports the academic goals of the institution. Also to adopt new trends of training and placement of multinational companies and accordingly train the students. Also to accelerate R&D activities in educational institute. And of course, we have very eminent and experienced speakers for this FDP. Now in brief about IQAC of our institute. The IQAC, formerly Academic Coordination Cell, functions in collaboration with various departments of the college, exam cell, college office, library, placement cell, and career guidance and counseling cell for an integrated approach towards quality assurance for the quality improvement of the institution. As per discussions in IQAC meetings, the institute has adopted some of the best practices which have helped to monitor and report all the activities to promote transparency and student-centric approach in the institute. In fact, this FDP is also a result of discussion in an online meeting of IQAC 20 days back. Some of the initiatives of IQAC evaluates and monitors the quality of teaching. The institute monitors the quality of teaching by doing internal and external auditing. The procedure for internal auditing is initiated by IQAC. Implemented ERP, which made system transparent. IQAC initiated number of faculty development programs, workshops, and guest lectures to staff and students separately in order to acquire more potentials. Now we have switched to outcome-based education system. Online feedback on each course has been implemented on ERP. Pre-placement activities. To make ready engineers, number of pre-placement programs are conducted. Some of the MOUs are with TCS Mumbai, PCS Mysore, Medini Bangalore, Magic Solution Bangalore, etc. Also, we have some collaborations for placement activities. We started group mentor scheme. As most of the students admitting in our institute are coming from rural background, therefore it requires continuous monitoring and mentoring of the students. This scheme ensures performance and overall development of the students and communicates same to the parents of the students. Internship programs. We started internship programs right from first year, from 1919. Internship helps students to work on real projects, get acquainted with current market trends, sharpen their technical skills, and learn in demand technical skills. Our TPO team worked hard for getting internship to maximum students. Mini project competitions. To encourage students towards research and innovation, mini project competitions are conducted in the institute. National level workshop series. Our institute is an affiliated institute. The programs are bound to follow the curriculum set by university. So to bridge the gap between university prescribed syllabus and the industry requirement, certificate courses and skill development courses are offered to the students to boost their level of employability. IQAC initiated and department conducts workshop series every year. We also provided artificial turf sports facility to all students. MATLAB. To inculcate project doing habit, MATLAB campus license software is purchased. Also, the Gate tutor is provided to the students on our website. We have tie-up with Cisco to start Cisco Academy in the institute itself. Our 2 faculties were sent to complete the Cisco certification course. The institute now is obtained permission for Cisco Certified Academy. We offer Cisco certification courses to our students in the institute itself. The new concept is of baseline test, or we can say a diagnosis test, which we implemented from last year to FY Tech students. For this, we have signed a MOU with a professional agency to conduct diagnosis test for FY Tech students. The agency conducts the test of students on different parameters in different phases. Students will come to know their strengths and weaknesses. Institute has established an alumni cell to work as link between alumni and institute. During 8th alumni meet, this is our big achievement, of course. During 8th alumni meet, to the response of institute's appeal, alumni has donated rupees 1 lakh for the establishment of e-yantra embedded system and robotics lab initiated by MHRD and IIT Bombay. Avishkar, a zonal level event of Dr. Batu Lonere, was conducted in our institute. Avishkar Research Convention is one of such platforms for students, teachers, and other entities in the higher educational institutes to participate and engage themselves in research at different levels. We have also arranged Tech Fest regularly. We have organized industrial motivation campaign to start MSCs to lead students for self-employment. Our mechanical engineering department, in association with Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar Technological University, Lonere, established a Make Innovative Club where students can showcase their innovative ideas and seek all the support from the club. Our NSS team is also very active and develop among students a sense of social and civic responsibility by arranging different programs like NSS camp, blood donation camp, tree plantation, plastic free campus, etc. I conclude my speech with famous quote, our tomorrow need new and different solutions today only. I hope this FDP will definitely helpful for all of you. Now I request our principal Dr. V.V. Mane to express his thoughts. Over to you, Dr. Mane, sir. Hello? Hello? Dr. Mane, sir.
Dr. Mane, sir, you can unmute yourself.
Unmute. Hello. I'm audible. Hello.
Yes.
Yes. Hello. Good afternoon to one and all. On behalf of management and staff, we TPC College of Engineering, Usmanabad, heartily welcome to our resource person and all participants for 1 week online FDP. 1 week online FDP expectation. This is the College of Engineering, TPC College of Engineering, Usmanabad, established in 1983. This is contact detail of this college, and we are always focusing on creating skilled engineers since 35 years. This administrative building of the college, this aerial campus of the college, it is crowded by more than 15,000 trees. Among that trees, our college is located at Usmanabad. This is our Honorable President, Dr. Padma Singh Patil, sir, who is the founder president of our trust, and he is a renowned personality, has devoted his life to the cause of education, medical and social activities. He was a cabinet minister in Home, Education Minister in Maharashtra State more than 25 years. He was also member of parliament. His motto of education to develop and to start and develop this educational institute to provide high quality education compared to other institutes in India for the with the lowest cost. Then our inspiration is the Honorable Rana Jagdishwar Patil, currently presenting Tuljapur constituency as MLA. He was a Minister of State for Industries and Parliamentary Affairs of Maharashtra. His vision to build district area as the largest center for startups and new advanced technology and renewable resources. He has come up with a vision to cater the multi-dimensional requirements of engineering, farming, medical, and overall urban development. TPCT group of institute, we have the various, we have the 15 institutions Usmanabad location. We have the we have a technological this is technical base at Usmanabad location. We start the technology from ITI Industrial Training Institute. Then there is a engineering college at Usmanabad, basically medical college, dental college, nursing college. In addition to that, there is hospital facility also there, and more than 10,000 students are studying in Terna Institute. More than 1,800 employees are working with the Terna Trust. More than 10,000 engineers working, alumni engineers working in various industries in India and abroad also. Terna Public Sector Trust develops more than 500 entrepreneurs, and our doctor treated more than 40,000 patients and 20,000 institutes as well as hospital at Nerul. Then the academic program run by the institute, there are 5 UG branches, civil, computer electronics, each have the 16 tech, mechanical engineering 19 tech. This is the first engineering institute where we start pharmacy program with 100 intake, and this UG program coupled with the PG program also specialized in computer science and engineering, electronics and telecommunication engineering, mechanical 18 intake each. Then this is the activity. We have the tradition to addition every year. We add the new things, and basically as per the requirements of hiring and to get the best end output from the student, we started these activities in 2016-17. We planned 12 activities like the TCS. For next year, we think that our students focus on the entrepreneurship. We have to add the entrepreneurship activities as well as skill development activities. Then last after that in 18-19 we realized that many multinational further add the coding activity and online test everything. And current year, we think that this first year, second year, or third year and final year training, skill development training is not sufficient for student. Hence, we decide to give this employability training from first year. We have to start our activity from baseline test of first year student. Accordingly, we enhance their skill ability day by day. As a result of that, own many more awards in various competitions. We have to remarkable award, Codeathon, Python. Our students achieved a good results in Codeathon Python contest. Then these are our achievements. Our awareness in technical education due to our good planned, disciplined academics. The institute crowd with the more than 105 university rankers in various engineering programs. Our 8,000 alumni serving the national and multinational have started their own startup, and our institute recognized as an ideal examination center by university. As our professor Maske sir tell that 30 plus MUs are institute for training placement, social development. Current year, we recognize as an Institute of Leadership Excellence Award from Dr. Batu Lonere for wonderful organization of Avishkar, a zonal event. Our 2,500 plus students get the certification. Last 3 years, we placed 500 plus students. Apart from that, every semester, more than 3 students undergone the field training, internship, industrial training. These are our achievements, and I'm very proud that for this FDP early morning I got the status of registration. This is 1,100 areas of Maharashtra, as well as outside of the Maharashtra OMS registration also there. In addition to that, there are 6 registration from out of India also. Basically, Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, Yemen, Oman, Indonesia, South Africa, China, 1,111 plus. This is about the registration. And finally, I'm thank you to one and all who are directly, indirectly helps us for organizing this wonderful FDP speakers and all the participants from all regions for their interest to attending the FDP. My special thanks to organizing committee. They are taking a lot of efforts from last week to organizing this committee. Thank you very much. I'm calling here introduction of today's speaker, Dr. Bhatlonde sir. Vande ma'am, please start the introduction.
Yes, sir. Very good afternoon to all. I heartily congratulate and welcome to all interested participants and honorable speaker, principal, coordinator in 1 week online FDP on higher education 2020 for its requirements and expectation organized by IQACs of TPCT's College of Engineering, Usmanabad. Myself, Professor Vadne Usha, Head of Basic Science and Humanities Department in Terna Engineering College, Usmanabad. I am very glad that I got such large opportunity to introduce today's dynamic research speaker, Dr. Sripad Bhatlonde sir. He is a professor, Dean of Industrial Projects and Consultancy, also Head of Electronics and Telecommunication Department in Vishwakarma Institute of Technology, Pune. He has 20 years of experiences in this field. His 9 research papers are published. He got 2 patents in research paper. He had also completed 5 projects in research area with grant 50 lakh and consultancy 2.5 crores. He had completed BTech degree from SGGS Nanded in 2000. He had completed MTech degree from Government College of Engineering Pune in 2008. and he had taken PhD degree from IIT Kharagpur in 2015. His research interest area in machine intelligence. Really a great introduction. That is Dr. Bhatlunde sir will give us a beneficial and informative knowledge about research and development, because today's first session and topic is research and development. So I request to invite respected Dr. Bhatlunde sir to start the session. Thank you. Bhatlunde sir. Hello.
Yes. Can you hear me, madam? Yes.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Am
sir.
I audible?
Yes.
Am I audible,
Yes.
madam? Yes.
Yes,
Right.
sir.
So thank you so much for this generous introduction, madam. And I'm really
Thank you.
happy. I can see around like almost like 275 participants are there online right now. And as Honorable Principal Sir mentioned, around 1,111 registrations are there. It's really great. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful to you for this invitation and for providing me this opportunity. Like what we are doing at VIT, just I would like to share that, and I'm very grateful to you for providing me this opportunity. Thank you so much. So, madam, with your permission, may we start now?
Yes, sir. Start. Yes, sir.
Right. So, madam,
Start the
I
session.
would like to share my screen.
Yes. Take a minute.
So, could you please stop sharing your screen so that I can share my presentation?
Yes, sir.
Right. Fine. Good afternoon to all participants. I'm Shripad Bhatlavande, and thank you so much. It's really great to interact with all of you, and I'm sure a lot of things must be going through your mind right now, because research and development is a topic that basically we keep on discussing about research and development, and everyone attending this session must be having a good understanding of research and understanding. To just complete the circle and the responsibility delegated to me, I would like to share what I did and what we do at Vishwakarma Institute of Technology, what I learned from my seniors and superiors authorities. Just I would like to share those things with you. So before starting, just I would like to ask you one question. How many of you are PhDs, doctorate? How many of you have completed your doctoral study? If you are a PhD, just type 1 in the chat box. Just I would like to know how many of you are doctorates? Fine, it seems like many doctorates are there. So my job is very simple because most of the things are known to you. Great. So huge number of very large number of doctorates are there. Somebody said 2, it means double doctorate. Great. So thank you so much. So this job is very simple now. So I would like to share my screen. Madam, is my screen visible now? Yes, participant.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Visible, sir.
Okay, thank you. Right. So without further ado, let's get started. So the topic given to me is research and development. And as I mentioned, everyone attending this session knows very well about research and development. As I mentioned, just my experiences, what I did, what we do at Vishwakarma Institute of Technology, just I'm going to share with you. And please feel free, anytime you can interrupt me. If you want to suggest anything, if you want to ask anything, anytime you can interrupt and we can discuss that time. Fine. So the overall outline of this presentation is like this. As organizers mentioned, the theme is higher education, expectations and requirements. So theme related things are there, and then what are the expectations? So very basic way we would like to understand. So just kind request to organizers, if possible, could you please mute all participants? Just kind request to organizers, if possible,
Sripat sir, you can please unmute yourself. Sripat sir.
Yes. Sir, I'm trying to unmute. Now it seems it is unmute. It seems like I'm not co-host. If you can make me co-host, then I will be able to unmute myself, or otherwise mute. Fine. Fine. And then finally, like once we know expectations and requirements, then we can think about actions. So what actions like we can take to address the requirements. And then finally, take away from this. Just a minute. It seems some network related issues are there. It will take just 1 minute. So am I audible? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
My screen is also visible. Right. Right. And then finally, take away from this session. So this is the overall outline of the presentation. So let us start with higher education. So right now, like we all are teachers and we are well aware about higher education, like the situation of higher education in our country. Like we are all aware about that. And then like the based on that, like we will try to understand expectations of higher education. So already like you have been like listening to many authorities about expectations of higher education. Just quickly we will go through like with what understanding and the authorities in our country are looking at higher education. So the purpose of higher education like is employability. So there are many other ways, many things are there. So one by one, we will just discuss about them. See, the highest purpose is employability, and then after that, higher studies. So generally, it is said that if suppose like any student take admission for professional courses, so first of all, after completion that he should be employable. He should acquire some learns real world skills, and he should be able to apply them to develop something. So that comes under employability. And then higher studies. Now, if suppose if some student completes his graduation, professional graduation, then graduation should like inspire him or her to like further go deeper basically and understand the intricacies of that particular subject. So that is higher studies. So these are the basic objectives of higher studies: employability and then higher studies. Now, if we see employability, so further, if suppose a student is employable and if he joins industry, if he works with industry, then generally basic expectation is what? He should develop something novel. So innovation is what basically developing something. So in any higher like institute of any higher learning, student learns many things, and the basic expectation after that at what? After joining industry, he should innovate something, he should develop something. And then the culmination of higher studies is what, as we said, as we discussed, like after that he should be able to learn the intricacies of particular subject, and its culmination should be what? Research basically. And now earlier days like the things were different. We used to like there were like some distinctions like between innovation and research. Research means what? It's a kind of knowledge production, and innovation means what? It's a product, basically development of a product basically. So research is knowledge generation or knowledge production, and innovation we may consider like it as a development. So research is knowledge and then application of that knowledge into development of or developing a product is called as innovation. So earlier days, those distinctions were there. But now if you see, there is no difference, there is no distinction between innovation and research. They are synonyms. Innovation is research, research is innovation. And if you see, from both the things, from innovation as well as research, the same expectations are there. So it doesn't matter what you are doing, whether you are working in an industry or whether you are a researcher in a university or any research institute, the expectations are same. And what are these expectations? The expectations are growth, entrepreneurship, and revenue. So here, just try to understand, entrepreneurship doesn't mean just starting a new industry. Okay? Entrepreneurship means what? Developing something new. And then you can say that fostering your curiosity, and you should contribute in the domain of your choice, basically. So that is entrepreneurship. The growth is what? Growth has many dimensions. Like I have seen the brochure of your FDP, there are many things mentioned about the NAC, NBA, so many things are mentioned. So growth has many facets, basically, many dimensions. So growth may be in terms of starting from the recognition at state level, university level, state level, national level, international level, growth in terms of publications, and there are so many facets. I hope you can understand that. And the entrepreneurship is what? It is not just starting a company. And then finally, everything comes to revenue. If suppose there is a company, and if suppose it is not able to make out something substantial revenue, then that company has to shut, basically. Even though education is a very noble profession, but nowadays we know what is happening, what happened in USA, that is bound to happen in our country also. So in USA or any other countries, European countries or US, the education is one of the industry, basically, and gradually in India also, in our country also, it is happening. So finally everything boils down to revenue. So the higher studies or higher education, so very briefly, just I presented what is my understanding about the expectations of higher studies or higher education. Then we'll see quickly requirements. So if you see requirements, in requirement, the most important part is faculty. I'm not saying good, bad, nothing like that. Faculty is always good. So faculty is the backbone of this, foundation of higher education, higher learning. Then the second thing is facility, and third is finances. So when these three things are together, very easily we can plan something and we can achieve significant things. Once we know the challenges or otherwise expectations or the requirements of higher studies, mainly see higher studies nowadays, it is not just about teaching learning process, it is about research and development. Because most of the universities, now if you see NIRF ranking for that matter, or even NBA, for example, NAC also. So these are our Indian accreditations, basically. And if suppose you think about ABET, for example, so American, so there you can see that it is the teaching learning process is one component of it, but let us say around 40%, and the 60% things are related to research and development, what you are giving to society, what contribution we are doing to society or the domain, basically. So that matters a lot, basically, and how we are disseminating it, how we are giving it back to the society, that is very important. And that comes under research and development. So once we understand expectations and requirements, we can think about its implementation now. And with the help of actions, now let us see how can we achieve, how can we contribute or do something for research and development. So there are 7 things. So one by one we will discuss about them. The first thing is focus, basically. See, there are 100 types of research. Only mainstay is fundamental research. Sir, if suppose now it is showing that my internet is unstable, if you find any difficulty, I request organizers, please let me know. You can directly call me so that I can switch to other internet. So right now, I hope everything is fine. I am also audible and my presentation is also visible. Right, sir? Right now, is there a problem?
Yes, sir.
No, sir. Yes. Okay.
All okay.
Right. In between, if any problem comes, so just kind request, please just phone me. I will switch to other internet. Right. So, see, as I mentioned, there are many different types of research. We will be discussing mainstreams. mainstream categories, you can say. So the first type of category is fundamental research. The second is clinical research. And then the third is experimental research. So fundamental research is what the theoretical background. We keep on developing theoretical background that comes under fundamental research. So theory of everything, basically, like how it happens, why it happens, and so that fundamental things. So most of the science institutions, they are like involved in fundamental research. Our Indian Institute of Sciences, that IISc Bangalore, and then the derivatives of IISc, that is nowadays we call it as ICERs. So they are mainly into fundamental research. Clinical research, ICMR, you may be knowing about ICMR, Indian Council for Medical Research. And then many biomedical institutions are there, even IITs are also there. So they are into clinical research. And then experimental research. Experimental research means applied research. So we will come to that part also. Now, just 10 years ago, what was the situation? I would like to just briefly tell you. 10 years ago, 75% of the researchers, let us say 100 researchers are there or were there. So of them, 75% of them used to do fundamental research. And the fundamental research was glorified like anything. If you don't do fundamental research, then people used to criticize you. Okay? So most of the researchers were fundamental researchers, basically. Then clinical research, if you see, only 20% researchers, they used to invest their time for clinical research. Only pharmaceutical industries and their hired scientists used to do that, and some universities were also part of that. And now remaining 5% people only, they used to do experimental research. This was the statistics 10 years ago, basically. So 10 years ago, this was the statistics, basically. But now what is happening since last 2-3 years, everything has been changed now. And now the current statistics are like this. The fundamental research, only 5% people are doing fundamental research. And there is little increment in clinical research, because see, clinical research is very good area, but the problem is what? So many regulatory compliances are there. Clinical trials are there, usability evaluations are there, so many permissions are there. So that's why if you are a small organization, if you are an independent researcher, clinical research is little tough. But if you are an organization, if you are a hospital, if you are tied up with a hospital, for example, then clinical research is good. If you are connected with the pharmaceutical industry, then it's good, basically. Otherwise, clinical research is tough because of its regulatory compliances. So 25% people, 5% rise is there, and they are doing clinical research. And now you can see remaining 70% researchers nowadays, they are doing experimental research. So experimental research means what? Solving problems. That's it. Identifying problems and then solving the problem. So experimental research means applied research. So you will take a problem, you will solve that problem, and fine, that's it. You will convert it into a product. Fundamental research, you will propose a theory, but no one knows when that theory will be translated into a product. Clinical research is what? You develop some therapeutic device, you develop some drug, and then you conduct so many clinical trials. And if suppose that drug gives some good results, fine. Otherwise, again, modify that, revise that drug, and again conduct clinical trials. Experimental research is what? Basically, you have some theoretical framework, you have some mathematical understanding, some model is there. Using that, you develop something, and then you conduct some evaluations. And if suppose it works fine, you product it. You commercialize it. You make a product out of it. So that is experimental research. So the focus, the first action point was focus. So here what I mean by focus is you need to decide what you want to do, basically, whether your inclination is to fundamental research, clinical research, or experimental research. So first of all, you need to decide what exactly you want to do. And once you decide, then don't bother about anything and anyone, basically. Because there was a time experimental researchers were criticized like anything, but this is the perfect time, basically. Even IITs and even IISc has also started experimental research. So now experimental research is most celebrated research. So if suppose I assume right now for this discussion, let us say we chosen, let us say, experimental research. So now first step is what? We need to decide what we want to do. So let us say I am assuming we have chosen, let us say, experimental research. For that matter, you may choose clinical research also, fundamental research also. But now for further discussion, I am assuming experimental research. And whatever things I'm going to discuss, they are equally applicable to clinical research also and fundamental research also. No, once you identified, once you decided you will do experimental research, now we need to identify problem. Problem is very important thing for research. Now, can you just tell me, like, this is what you know who he is? He is Bahubali, basically, you know, the Prabhas, like Bahubali movie, and I'm damn sure everyone like attending this session has, at least those like, you know, Indians, basically, those who are from India, they must have watched this movie. Those who are like, you know, from abroad, they can just Google it and see that Bahubali. They can type Bahubali. So it's a movie basically, and it was a blockbuster. Blockbuster. It was a super hit movie in India. Then this is like one more movie. It is called as Kolar Gold Mines or Files. I think I forgot the full form of that KGF. But KGF is again one South Indian movie. Both are South Indian movies. That KGF is also like blockbuster. Like, you know, it was also a very super hit movie in our country. You know, if we see Bahubali or KGF, these movies received massive response from like people. So what was the reason behind that? Why Bahubali character was like highly appreciated? Why the Rocky character in KGF was highly appreciated? You just like gonna take a minute and think about it. No problem. I will just come to you. I'll just tell you that. See, in Bahubali, if you remember, in the part one, there was one villain called Kalyavan, someone called Kalyavan. He was very ferocious, and he was like very cruel also at the same time. And then in part two, like, you know, we were like know about that Bhallal Dev. He was also very cruel and atrocities. If you remember that the movie plot starts with the soldiers of that Bhallal Dev torturing citizens of Mahishmati, if you remember. So the common people were quite frustrated. Common peoples were like, they were suffering like hell. And then in KGF also, if you remember, in that gold mines, that Garuda was the villain, and then he had captivated many, around 2,000 people. They were like captivated by those people, and they were torturing them like hell. And they were suffering. So the common people, the bottom line is, the commonality between these two movies is what? The common people were suffering like anything. The common people were in misery, basically. That is the problem. And the villain was so cruel, and there was no escape. There was no escape, basically. The villain was very strong. And even the audience that time, if you watch that movie, that time you would have also to like kill Bhallal Dev or otherwise that Garuda, isn't it? Take some action against, I mean. So that was the thing basically. So the problem is very important. The problem is very important. The villain was so cruel, villain was so strong. That's why our hero was appreciated. And the Bahubali killed Bhallal Dev, or otherwise that in KGF, that hero killed that villain. So that's why they were like appreciated like anything. See, the bottom line is what? I don't want to tell you the storyline of these movies. The bottom line is what? Villain were strong. So the problem is very important. In any research, in any development, problem is very important thing. And it doesn't mean that you like self-proclaim problem. You just like meditated somewhere, or you Googled somewhere, and then you like got one problem statement. This will not work. This will not work. So this is not basically, this is not the problem. You cannot claim it as a problem. See, this should be like what accepted by communities at large, people at large, basically. Many people, many researchers, many authors, and in people in general, they should admit, they should like declare that this is the problem. Okay? So everyone should be aware that this is the problem. Okay? And with such citations, such references, such like what you can say affirmations, like you can say that yes, this is the problem, and then you can identify the problem. Now, I would like to tell you a few things about one company also, US-based company. You know that this is Steve Jobs and his company, Apple, basically. So what Steve Jobs used to do, he never used to hire very brilliant people, very intelligent people. He never used to speak about technology. He never spoke about technology. You must be knowing about him. He never spoke about technology. And what he did, like what his R&D department did, basically, Steve Jobs always used to tell his colleagues or his employees just one thing. And that one thing was, and that was to understand the problems and requirements of users. That's it. The problems and requirements of the users. Apple invest, or you can say spend, their almost 25% of budget on requirement analysis only. What are the problems of people? So what Apple did actually that time, they just understood the requirements of youth basically, and then the what you can say the professionals then, and then the people in general basically. So they see the digital technology was available that time. IBM was a big player, Xerox was big player, and there were so many companies. Even Microsoft was also there. It was almost like a good standing was there for Microsoft also, and these were the big players. But why Apple supersede them? Because what Apple did, see, there were digital things, computer was there, many things were there, but the user interface was not good. If you remember, mouse was not there, isn't it? And it was very difficult. A good monitor was not there. Clear? The machine was kind of machine only. But what Steve Jobs did basically, he analyzed the requirements of common people, and he understood that user requirement is the highest preference basically. Uh, you can say user experience, simplified user interface for that matter, you can say. Clear? And then the appearance of the machine also matters. Like he realized that. So what he did, he just did marriage of art with technology, and he developed a very good, like a good looking machine. Then he provided that mouse interface also. And then after that, we know that like iPhone, and then so many things, iPad, and so many things came. And then how the models are, very slick models are there everywhere, anywhere, anyone can carry them. And once you use any Apple product, you will never tend to use any other product, because that kind of user experience, user satisfaction, like is there. He has ensured that, that company has ensured that. So here just I wanted to highlight only one thing with these three photographs. See, the customer is the king basically, or otherwise in other word we can say that the user requirements are the most important thing, or the problems are the most important thing. So first of all, we need to understand problem. So now I assume you understood that and you identified some problem in your domain. In any domain, it doesn't mean that we are ENTC or mechanical or computer engineer. It doesn't mean that we should solve only VLSI related problem or some additive manufacturing related problem or some programming related problem. Engineer means problem solving, that's it. So you should be able to identify any real world problem, that's it. And then based on your understanding, we should provide some solution for that. So the second step was identification of a problem. Then the third thing is what? Now, once you identified the problem, then don't label with yourself. Don't label yourself with a branch or a discipline. As I mentioned, it doesn't matter. Engineering means just problem solving, not a branch basically. And let us say you identified a problem, and for solving that problem, let us say you need to know, like you are thinking, like we are thinking. Generally, what happens whenever we get a problem, we think that now let us say computer vision related problem is there. So what generally we think, now we need to learn, we need to know computer vision in depth. It is not required. It is not required. Research doesn't happen that way. Just simple analogy. Now in this photograph, you can see one lady is like searching for a particular location. For that matter, you can just say that. Like, let us say you want to come to Vishwakarma Institute of Technology, Pune. You want to come to our college, let us say. And you know that the VIT is at, let us say, located at Bivewadi. Let us say you don't know Bivewadi. You came till, like, let us say, Swargate. And from Swargate now you are blank. You don't know where to go. So what you can do now, either you can rely on GPS map, or otherwise, just you can open the window of your car and then you can just ask any pedestrian there, any person there, isn't it? You can ask them, where is the VIT, or where, what, like the way to VIT, isn't it? So simply that lady is like looking for certain like venue, and she is just asking address. So research is just like that. There is no need to like know in depth about everything. No, it's not required. Like, see, you know the problem statement, fine, you can start from there. And with need-based understanding, you can suggest a solution. So it is just like that. It is just like that. Okay. But it doesn't mean that you should not know anything about anything, like about any particular problem or about the foundation of like engineering. It doesn't mean that. You need to know, like we need to know at least some basic like fundamental understanding of engineering or problem solving basically. So see, this is not my opinion. Like what stalwart, what authorities like mention about the bare minimum understanding. So just three things like one should know. This is bare minimum understanding. The first thing is geometry. So one should know geometry, and that is up to school geometry only. So not very like advanced things. Even if we know basic school geometry, that is fine. Second is linear algebra. In linear algebra, again, there linear algebra is also very vast basically. So it doesn't mean that everything, anything and everything. Just kind request, like, could you please mute your mic? Some participants, their mic is muted. Just kind request, could you please mute your mic? Hello? Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Please continue.
Right, sir. Right. The second is linear algebra. It doesn't mean that we should know everything about linear algebra. Mainly the matrix theory and then the vector spaces. So this is like one should know with like good understanding, like should be there for that. And the third thing is Python, any programming language. It may be Python, it may be C or MATLAB. Just before some time, I heard like the honorable principal was mentioning about the MATLAB licenses. Even if any programming language, if we know, that is fine. So basic geometry, then school geometry, linear algebra, and then the Python programming or any other programming language. These three things are the fundamentals for solving any problem, basically. Okay, so here just I want to like mention that, see, to solve any problem we need not know or we need not have in-depth understanding of that area or that domain. Even a basic understanding of these three things will serve our purpose, because we never work alone, because we work in a team basically, and we have to work in a team. It's not possible. Research cannot be carried out independently. Product development cannot happen independently. We need to work in a team. Without team, it is impossible. If you are planning to do research independently, better you should think something else, not research that. See, this is one educational institute in Maharashtra, a very like a nearby city from Usmanabad, Nanded. You may be knowing, this is Shri Guru Gobind Singh Ji Government College of Engineering, Nanded, SGGS Nanded. This is IIT Kharagpur. And then this is Indian Institute of Science, Bangalore. So these are the three institutions. And there is one very important and commonality between these three institutions. One very particular thing is there, common between these three institutions. And what is that common thing? I'll just tell you. See, teamwork. They have extraordinary teamwork. Now we will see Nanded, for example, and take any department, take example of any department. And if you see their publications, for example, let us say ENTC department. If you see publication of ENTC department, let us say one faculty member is publishing one paper. You just read the author list. You just see the author list. Minimum 7, 8, 6, 7 authors are there. The PhD scholar is there, then the professor is there, guide is there, then other like collaborators are there, 6, 7 authors are there. If you go to IIT Kharagpur also, in any paper, you will find minimum 8 to 10 authors. And for that matter, even if you go to IISc Bangalore, so in IISc also, in some papers, the number of authors are more than 20. So you can understand that. Like what this three institute does, first of all, they collaborate with faculty members within the department. They never worry about, like, let us say this is my research area, and if suppose I have done some work, and then why should I give credit to my colleague? He has done nothing. No, it's not like that. Because next time he will be writing some paper. That time he will take our help, and with our contribution, he will like make us author. Right now we are taking some help, some of his help, and for that, in acknowledgement of that, of his efforts or her efforts, we are making him or her author. Next time he will make us. Clear? So that kind of team sharing or the research sharing mindset has to be there. Otherwise, it is very difficult, basically. Because see, we are not the master of everything. We need to be, and we are jack of most of the things. Not everything, but we are jack of everything and master of one thing. Similarly, many other professors, professionals and teachers, students are also there. So wherever and whenever their expertise is required, we should take their expertise and we should make them author, and then in team we should publish our work. So that is called as, that I mean basically team and sharing mindset. It doesn't mean that if you make him author or her author, with that paper he or she is not going to get any an out of word things, basically. Clear? But definitely we will be getting many things. So with that understanding, I mean here, research should be carried out in a group, in a team. Development should be carried out in a group, in a team, basically. Then once team is identified, when team is when you are done with team, then see, every teacher is entrepreneur. And see, by default, every teacher is entrepreneur. We need to just inculcate mindset of like an entrepreneur. We are entrepreneur. We are entrepreneurs. We need to just inculcate. We need to just like realize that mindset basically. Now, what I mean here, just I'll take 1 minute to tell you like what I mean. This is very important part. Basically, see, in any educational institute, and for that matter, for any teacher, for every teacher, this part is very important. For a teacher, for a department, for an educational institute, for a university, this part is very important. You just try to understand. See, in any educational institutes, there are many resources. And being a teacher, we need to carry that mindset of entrepreneur, and we should be able to, like, we should use those resources very systematically, very intelligently. One of the most important resource available in any university, any college, any department is human resource. And mainly I am talking about student resource, student capital. It's unparalleled. It is like, see, there is no comparison. If you see any startup, if you see any company, for that matter, your college also, wherever you are working, let us say your college is earning, let us say 100 rupees. So almost 80 rupees are spent on human resource for the salaries and maintenance of the faculty members and the other staff, administrative staff, or overall human resource. So 80% expenditure happens for human resource basically. And you just imagine, you just try to understand what I'm like trying to like convey. You just see, like, whenever students are with us, they are with us up to third year, and then in final year, first semester, their placement starts. And immediately, like in that semester, they get an offer from industry, and their minimum offer is of 4 lakh rupees. Nowadays, every student is getting an offer of 4 lakh rupees per annum. Okay? Let us say 3 lakh, 4 lakh, 7 lakh, average we will take 4 lakh rupees. So every student now or then, he will be or she will be getting an offer of 4 lakh rupees per annum. So minimum package of our average student is nowadays 4 lakh rupees. And in any department, minimum 100 students are there. And if you multiply this 4 lakhs with 100, so it is 400 lakhs, so 4 crores. So resources worth 4 crores are with us. Just after 6 months, when the students like will pass out and join some industry will utilize their talent, utilize their potential, and they develop many things, and they make out like a huge profit out of them, isn't it? So if industry is able to utilize potential of our students, if they can design many things, if they can generate a huge revenue with the help of those students, if they can pay 4 lakh rupees per annum to them, and if they can make many things out of them, then why can't we? We can also do that. Being a teacher, being a department, being a institute, we can very comfortably utilize that potential basically. And that potential, that resource is very important. So I mean, that mindset has to be there. We should be able to use energy of our student for solving our problems basically. Our problem is the technological problem, research problems. Clear? See, in the world, many locks are there, and our students are keys. Clear? So we need to identify for which lock, which key we need to use basically. So that is very important aspect for any educational institute. Students are very important resource. They are very intelligent people. See, youth can change everything. Young minds, energetic people are our students basically. So we should use them very intelligently. So then once like human resource is also ready, and our students like keep on working on different projects basically. Every semester like our student implements some project, one or other project. So generally what happens in any department or in any educational institute, now let us say one group of students implemented something, then next year, next batch will come, next group will come, and then the earlier project will be forgotten. We never keep track of earlier implemented projects. So we should not do that. We should like continue that particular work. We should extend that particular project work. See, because we identified a problem, we form a team, and then we deployed students. Now, one batch of students develop like they solved some problem, let us say, they completed, let us say 50% of work. So you should not now forget that particular work. You should not. We should never forget that work. Now what should happen? The next batch should be there, and the next batch should be very systematically like groomed, and they should start that project from that particular stage. So that way, what we should do, we should add incremental novelty or incremental changes in that particular project. And see, generally what happens, as I mentioned, generally we don't create database of projects basically. And every time like new group comes, they meditate, they Google, or otherwise they like take help of their seniors, and then they do something like by their choice only. That is fine, that is good actually, they should do by their choice. But if suppose it is not a problem, and if they are not solving anything, and for the sake of just like a completion of something, and for academic fulfillment, if you are they if they are doing, then that is not going to help us, isn't it? That is not going to serve our purpose. So that's why, first of all, there should be a project repository, and there should be continuation of the project. No project should be discarded. First of all, while selecting a project, as I mentioned, a very good research should be carried out to find the problem statement, and on that problem statement only group should be deployed. And once work has started, it should not be discarded. It should not be ignored or forgotten basically. It should be continued, and some incremental addition should be there. Some incremental novelty has to be there. Now for that matter, if you see Google, now every semester Google is adding one or other feature. We know that, isn't it? Earlier days, Google Classroom was not there. Now if you see, Google Classroom is there, mail tracking system is there, then otherwise segregation of emails is there, personal emails are there, then some updates related, forum related. So every semester, after every 6 months, Google adds something new. See, most of the times we don't require those features also, but Google keep on keep on conveying those details to all users. And what happens because of that? We understand, we know Google is doing something, and Google is continuously improving, continuously innovating something. And that's why, in spite of having hundreds of browsers in the market, we always prefer Google, because we know that Google is consistently working. Google is consistently providing us something good, isn't it? So that's how Google has developed credibility for themselves, isn't it? So similarly, even we start doing that, not like Google, but even around some 0.0001% of Google, at least the mindset of them. If we keep on adding good features every semester in that project, every year in that project, definitely it is going to help us. And one very important thing, one should understand, see, students are students. There is nothing like that some students are brighter, some students are weaker, it's not like that basically. There is nothing like that, because see what happens, see, a common sense and basic motivation, this is one of the quote, I forgot the name of that author basically, but he says the motivation always beat mere talent. See, everywhere talent is not required. Basic motivation and the basic common sense, even if we have that can serve our purpose. And even if we don't have a very big team, very intelligent team, but if we have a motivated team, then definitely we can beat mere talent, because just by mere talent we cannot solve something. Okay? That motivation, that passion is required, that interest is required basically. I hope you understood this. And then just like this mindset, now once team is there and then project database is there, now some work, definitely some good work will come out of it, because we are adding every semester, we are adding something new, we are ensuring substantial outcome from our project. Then definitely we can see seventh stage is what? Now if work is ready, some good amount of work is there, if suppose it has solved some problem, then we should go for publications. See, basically here publication is not the agenda. I don't want you to publish anything and everything basically. That is not expected. See, the concept, what I mean to convey, just try to understand. I just want to tell you, our every work should be just like coconut tree. You can see in this photograph, one coconut tree is there. See, in coconut tree, there is nothing called waste. No waste is there. You take any part of this tree, it is useful. There is certain use, isn't it? you name any part of this tree, there is certain use, isn't it? So that way, just I wanted to tell you, whenever you do any project, any work, something should come out of it. Something tangible should come out of it. There should not be waste. You should not forget it. You should not discard it. You should not ignore it. Basically, something should come out of your work. Now, what is that something? If suppose the work is very good, and if you like appreciate that work, and if you know that that work is very good, it has solved very good problem, clear, and if you can rate that work, we can rate our work based on the our community approach or our community outreach. Based on that, we can rate our work. If the work is quite good, we can file a patent on it, and then later on we can commercialize that patent also. If suppose we think that that work is not worth, then definitely we should think about papers. So here papers also, one should understand, this is my opinion basically. So one should understand, now nobody should publish their work in conferences. So conferences should be avoided, should not be published in a conference. No conference, and then the second thing, UGC journals. UGC journals are good. If it is a UGC journal, fine, you may UGC journal. But if you see, there are 30,000 UGC journals. I'm sorry, it's not 30,000, it is 45,000 UGC journals. And every year, some journals are like blacklisted of them. So it is better not to opt for UGC journals. So either you may choose some Scopus indexed or SCI indexed journals. In nothing less than that. Minimum SCI index or Scopus index or SCI index. Wherever Thomson Reuters index is there, IF is there, impact factor is there, you should go ahead with those publishers only. Otherwise wait for some time, revise your work, and then later on, after adding substantial outcomes or results, you can think about publishing that work. But you should never publish in any of the conference and any of the mediocre journal. And then the third thing is what? If suppose, first of all, you should write a paper. Now, once our paper is ready, we know start and end of the work basically. And then we should write a proposal. Before that, it's not possible. First of all, this is the hierarchy basically. First of all, we should identify a problem. Then we should suggest some solution for that problem. Third thing is what? We should document that. That is paper basically. And then the fourth thing is what? Now we know in and outs of that particular development cycle. The development cycle is complete now. Now one should think about writing a proposal. It doesn't mean that you just got a problem and you are writing a proposal. No, it won't work that way. Just for the sake of satisfaction, you can do that. But if you want to really want to get some funding, then that approach has to be followed. So once paper is ready, then we should write we should write some proposal. So this is general general life cycle of research and development. Now with this, I will take hardly max 5 to 7 minutes, and then I will conclude, and then we can have question answer session. So the takeaways now, these 7 steps, if you see the 7 steps, I will go through. First of all, we need to decide what is our focus, which kind of research we want to do. Let us say experimental research. Then we have to find some good problem, and this problem should be confirmed by co-researchers. The research community should also confirm that is the problem basically. Then third thing, we should not wait for any expertise to develop. Whatever team we have, whatever basic understanding we have, we should go ahead with that. Then we should involve our students, good students, and we should very systematically create a activity chart for each activity, and we should complete that work. There should be some time limits. Time bounding has to be there. Otherwise, then it will keep on extending. So some time limit should be set. And then finally, as we discussed, we should keep on adding some incremental novelty. And if we know that it is novel, it is really worth to be shared with the community, then we should think about publications. Fine. So these are the 7 steps, and these are the 7 steps which can help us to do a good research and develop good product basically. Now takeaways. So for takeaways, see, I would like to just give you two examples. The first example is Dr. Manjunath Mahadevappa. Dr. Manjunath Mahadevappa is a professor at IIT Kharagpur. What he did, see, why I'm like telling about him, just to clarify our basic misconceptions. Generally, like when we want to do research, that time, like generally, like people says the research topic, research topic should be very complex, the kind of rocket science we want to develop. So it is not like that. See, the research means what? Problem solving. Engineering means what? Problem solving. That's it. That's it. That is the basic meaning of research. It doesn't mean that something very complex, something out of word we need to design. No, it's not like that. What Dr. Manjunath did, I'll just tell you briefly. Dr. Manjunath have like developed one smart cane for blind people. Smart cane for blind people. I repeat, he developed one smart cane for blind people. He developed one more product, and that product is called as FES, Functional Electric Stimulator. Functional Electric Stimulator. So two products he developed, and for both the project, he got IEEE transaction. I repeat, for both the works, he got IEEE transactions. Now, quickly we will go through his both the works. Basically, the first work was smart cane for blind people. So for that, what he did, see, there were so many canes already existing, but what he and his group did, they just interacted with the blind people, then the rehabilitation professionals, and then the primary caretakers of those blind people. He understood their problem. He and his team understood their problems, and they just implemented their problems. That's it. They solved their problem. They implemented an electronic system to solve their problem. And I am very happy I was part of that team. And I tell you, like, what were the components used in that solution? The components were Atmega microcontroller, one ultrasonic sensor, and some basic vibrator motors. That's it. That's it. Only these things were used. Only these things were used. And IEEE transaction paper came out of it. So you can understand. See, you can understand the importance of solving a problem. See, no work is small, basically. Otherwise, people think that, okay, this is a final year project, this is a BTech project, this is a second year project. So we should not like kind of follow such people. Those like can unnecessarily criticize or create doubt about our work. See, any work is good, basically, as long as it solves some problem. That's it. See, our focus should be on problem solving and not on what technology and like how much like a cost is involved, clear, and what kind of machine learning, what kind of like stuffs we are using in that. No, it's not requirement. The most important thing is what is it solving problem. That's it. If it solves the problem, done, you are done. See, IEEE transaction is not a small thing. You all are aware about that. And for both of his work, IEEE has accepted their publication and they are live now. They are online available now. So it's a very simple story of Dr. Manjunath. And then the second story is of Dr. Himmatrao Bavaskar. You may be aware about Dr. Himmatrao Bavaskar. He's a doctor by profession. Now, what happened in South African countries and even in Chandrapur and then in that region, basically, see, there was a very huge problem was there, and that was scorpion bite. So there were like many it's a kind of jungle area, and there African countries and even our Chandrapur Gadchiroli area. So there were either snake bite or scorpion bite. These are the major reasons for casualties, basically death. The most of the deaths are or used to happen that time because of either the poisonous scorpion bite or otherwise snake. This was the problem, basically. In South African countries, almost like if suppose 100 deaths are occurring, let us say deaths are occurring, so almost 85% deaths used to occur because of scorpion bite, and there was no remedy. People were trying, people were inventing right now the situation is for corona COVID-19, people are exploring many things, but somehow it is not possible. So that time also the same situation was there. Even in India, the same problem was there. And many researchers were working on it. And Dr. Himmatrao Bavaskar was a general practitioner, basically. And then once similar patient came to his PHC, and then he realized, and he was also working on that time that patient was died because of that scorpion bite. And then since that time he started working on it. And very interestingly, because of his earlier understanding and because of his perseverance, what he did, he just used one drug. drug is, just right, it was Prozos was like, it was an anesthesia kind of drug, basically, Prozosine something, if I'm not wrong. So that drug, it was already available. It was already available. The drug was available in the industry, available in the market. Okay? But nobody tried that drug. But on one patient, he tried that drug because anyway, that person was like going to die. So what he did, he didn't do anything blindly. He studied. And with that, with his understanding, he applied that drug. Basically, it was a prazosine or something. So he applied that drug, and miraculously, that drug worked. And then see, if you see the number of publications of Dr. Himmatrao Bavaskar, very few publications are there on his name. But that publications are in Lancet. Lancet is kind of Bible, isn't it? Lancet is Bible, basically. For public, it's a dream, basically. So he was the first doctor, Indian doctor, who could publish his work in Lancet. So what he did, basically, he studied, and then he experimented, and then finally he applied. And that drug worked, basically. Before that, many times, like, he must have, like, tried many things. Clear? And based on his understanding, he must have done that, isn't it? So just I wanted to tell you, see, what I mean here, see that ultrasonic sensor is existing, that microcontroller is existing, clear? That prazosine, that anesthesia drug was also existing, clear? But there were problems, clear? Ultrasonic sensor was used for different purpose, but what Dr. Manjunath did, he just changed the domain and he used it for assistive technology. That prazosine drug was there, it was used for anesthesia. It was already there, but what Dr. Bavaskar did, he just changed the domain. He applied that, he used that drug for treating scorpion bite, that scorpion sting, actually, clear? And then because of that, like, what happened, you know very well, clear? They are celebrated now. They are like celebrities, big celebrities now, basically. So he got publications in IEEE transaction, Dr. Manjunath got publication in transactions, and Dr. Bavaskar in Lancet. Lancet is not a joke, basically. Lancet, lifetime is there, like life required for Lancet, basically. And with what setup he could publish that paper? He was just a doctor in a PHC, primary health center. And we know that, like, what facilities are there in PHCs. But there, based on that, he could do that. So what I mean here, we should focus on problem solving. See, the common thing is what? If you want to do research, if you want to develop project, we need to understand only one thing. So takeaway of this session is what? Just one thing. And that one thing is what? Problem solving. That's it. Only problem solving. So we need to identify a problem and we need to solve it. And that time we should never think about what technology we are using, whether it is very traditional old technology or whether it is very advanced technology. You should not think about. These are tools, basically. The softwares, the algorithms, and the other machineries, they are tools, basically. So we should be good at using tools. But research doesn't mean tools. Research means what? Solution. Mainly problem solution. So from my side, I wanted to convey these things. If you have any question, now we can open for discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. This is Amrita Pimpre from TPCT's College of Engineering, Osmanabad. I just recently completed my PG.
Yes.
The information regarding to the types of research and the 7 steps of the research is very useful for us. Shall we start for the question answering session?
5 minutes. We can do that. Yes.
If anybody have any question, just kindly inform it. Just come forward.
Hello.
Please put your questions.
All participants are requested to kindly mute your mic. The question answer session is going on. So whatever the questions you have, please write in chat box. Thank you.
దీనికి చెప్పాలా నాకు అర్థం కాలే
So one,
Hello. Hello. So there is a
Hello.
question is if journal is science or Scorpius. Just a minute, sir. I just found one question.
So there is one question: how to decide idea of copyright?
okay. So madam, fine. I will come to the second question. The first question was like whether we should go for paid journals. So the answer is yes. There is no problem. We should go ahead. The only thing is what we should check its Thomson-Reuters impact factor. If suppose it has Thomson-Reuters impact factor, and if it is indexed by, let us say SCI indexing is there, or otherwise like that Thomson-Reuters indexing is there, fine. We should go ahead. It doesn't mean that it's a paid journal means it is not good. Earlier days, those kinds of misconceptions were there. See, in fact, those paid journals are very important because they are available for everyone, and it improves your citation index basically. So number of citations are very good if the journal is open source. That is called as open source. Paid journal means open source. But one should always be careful. It should not be the journals like starting with International Journal of this, International Journal of that, recent trends in engineering. So I mean, mediocre journals should not be there. SCI, Scopus, Thomson, Reuters, and so some good quality journals should be there. Right. And madam, the second question you said, copyrights. What was that question, madam?
How to decide idea for copyright?
See, copyright is very good thing. But if you want to monetize it or otherwise, like, see, based on my personal experiences, if you are just planning to file copyrights, better not to do that. Just copyrights. If you want to do, don't do that. If suppose you develop some product, so first of all, you should file a patent on that. And then with patent, copyright should be there. So copyright filing is good option, but if it is with patent, if it is with just a mere copyright may not help us. At the max, how can it help us? We can write it on our resume that I have a copyright, not more than that, no benefit other than that. So personally, I would suggest if it is with patent, then only you should think about copyright, otherwise not.
Okay, the next question is from D. Maithili. Is it
Yes.
mandatory for applying statistical tools?
Hello?
Hello? Is it
Yes,
mandatory for applying statistical tools to suggest the solution for the identified problem?
Right. So, Maithili madam, see, in any paper, the three things has to be there. So, first of all, mathematical model has to be there. Right? So, mathematical model, you can justify that the problem was there and this is the solution. Clear? Then something development has to be there. So, you will develop some product, some solution, isn't it? And now you need to validate that. Because mathematical model is a theory basically, you cannot validate it, isn't it? Mathematically you can do that, with some derivation you can do that. But now what happens, you will develop something and then you will conduct some experiment on that. So after that, that experiment will generate a data, isn't it? That experiment will generate a significant data. Now you need to crunch that data, and for data crunching you need to use some statistical tool. So statistical tool can help you to understand the data. So statistical tools should be used basically. It doesn't mean that statistical tools has to be used, but if statistical tools are there, so statistical tools will tell you and it will validate, it will demonstrate how the experiment was conducted and how effective and efficient your solution was. So statistical tool will speak about the truth, and that's why statistical tools should be used.
Okay.
Yes, sir. Any other question?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Just a minute. Next question is from Smita Bohit. Where to publish survey papers? What is the scope of such papers?
Right. If suppose, see, survey paper is very good thing basically, because when you do research, the first stage is literature review basically, that is survey paper. So if let us say you are a teacher or you are a researcher and you are in research, let us say since last 5 years, up to 5 years, you should not write a survey paper. First of all, you should do survey, you should complete literature review. See, I may be a little blunt, but just like, for your benefit only, for our benefit only, I'm just telling, because whenever we publish a paper, it will remain online for lifetime. So that's why we should be very careful. If suppose your guide is there and if he is there in that domain since last, let us say 15 to 20 years, with him you can write survey paper. But if you're independently writing a survey paper with your undergraduate students, and if you are there since just last 5 years, less than 5 years, then one should not write survey paper. And if at all, if you want to write survey paper, you can go ahead, but then the standard publishers, you can say. So only 3 publishers you should think about. The first highest priority now in electrical and electronics engineering, computer engineering, from that viewpoint, I am just going to quote 3 names. In mechanical engineering also, such similar journals are there. So from E&DC and computer and electrical engineering viewpoint, if you want to write literature review paper or survey paper, so the first preference should be given to IEEE publisher. So any journal from IEEE, all journals publish literature review paper. There is no such hard and fast rule that only this kind of publishers or journals publish literature review paper or survey paper. Everyone publishes, but we should aspire for IEEE first. We should submit such literature review paper to IEEE. IEEE will give thousands of corrections. We should, if they accept, good. If not, then we should work on their suggestions and then we should submit it in some Springer related journals. Then Springer will also accept it, great. We should be happy. If it doesn't accept, then again, they will also give hundreds of suggestions. Then we should revise our paper and we should then try with elsewhere. And if elsewhere also reject, then no problem. We should wait for some time. We should work on that and we should publish in any of these 3 journals only. If at all we want to publish survey paper. So to be precise, first of all, the first suggestion is what? If you are there in the domain since last 15 years, if you have around 10 papers on your name, then only you should write literature review paper or survey paper. And if you still want to write your literature review paper, survey paper, then you should either try with IEEE or Springer or elsewhere. Right. Yes, sir. Any other questions, sir?
Thank you, sir. There are lots of questions in the chat box.
Right.
But still there is a lack of time and we have to start second session.
Right.
Kindly will save that questions and we will forward it towards the speaker. And thank you, sir, for this such a wonderful session. We are very glad to have you for this FDP. For all the participants, the next session will be start within 5 minutes with the same link which we have been shared with you. Thank you all.
Thank you organizers, and thank you all participants. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sripad Bhatlavande.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, Vadnima. Vadnima.
Hello, madam. Yes, madam. Hello. Hello.
Just go forward.
Hello, Pimpri madam.
Hi, madam. Only ma'am, Professor only ma'am.
Yes, sir. Now I start, sir. Hello.
Starting. Hello. Audible, ma'am.
Sir.
Go ahead. Please start
Yes,
the introduction of another speaker, Rishikesh Kulkarni, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Okay, fine.
A very good afternoon.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Usha madam, please unmute yourself.
Yes, sir. Now I am going to introduce a great manager, Rushikesh Mukund Kulkarni sir. He is working with Kirloskar Ferrous Industries Limited, Solapur since 1993. Having very large experience of working with various departments, presently working as a manager, HR and legal. He is now handling a very great responsibilities as a CSR head, liaison with government offices, training and development and performance management. Also, he is the editor of Companies House magazine, guest lecture at Management College for HR, IR and labor laws. Now I request to invite Honorable Speaker Rushikesh Kulkarni sir to start the session. Thank you. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Just a minute, madam.
Yes, sir.
I am uploading the presentation.
Okay, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. Good evening, all of you.
Good evening, sir.
This is Rushikesh Kulkarni from Kirloskar Ferrous, Solapur. I am very thankful to Terna College Faculty Development Program, TPCT. Actually, Terna Trust is doing very good work, good and important work for generating employment in such an area. Employment as well as employable engineers they are creating. So it is a great work by the trust. Society must be thankful for that to them. Actually, my subject is a burning subject in these days. And this will be a interaction. Actually, it is an interaction between the industry and the engineering college. So I had been shouldered with the shoulder to responsible. Made responsible for the interaction on the subject industrial safety and post-COVID. So just I will start my session. Today we will go. Today I will share the thoughts on the following subjects. First is industrial safety. What do you mean by industrial safety? The applicable acts for the industries, safety at shop floor, and another session will be post-COVID, its benefits, losses, effects on the business, and actions at shop floor with respect to the prevention of COVID and how we can run the company. Basically, safety is an important and unattached part for the industry. Every industry, even though it is a manufacturing industry or the service industry, or it may be a college or school, safety is important part of that. Nowadays, we are observing that because of safety, the whole world is in trouble. So our today's subject is industrial safety. First, industrial safety is the management of the event to protect the employee by minimizing the hazards. While working in the industry, we have to face many of the hazards like mechanical hazards, electrical hazards, and many of the things. So the foremost important task of the industrial safety is to minimize the hazard and give the confidence to its workers for making the production. Safety is not a part-time job, it is a full-time job and a responsibility of everyone. So as just we have seen, safety is an unattached part of the every industry. The hazardous can be of type of that may be mechanical hazard, electrical hazard, physical hazard, or that there may be a biohazard also. Every industry is having an ambulance and dispensary to treat its workers or the employee for the minor injuries. So also biohazards are also available in industry. So we have to treat the biohazard in the precautionary way. Hazardous chemicals are also available in the industry to produce or manufacture in the goods. So it is the duty of the industry to make one authorized person to handle such type of hazardous. If unauthorized person handles such type of hazards, the company may be in trouble or there may be the possibility of accident. So what do you mean by the accident? Industrial accident. Industrial accident is nothing but it's a sudden and unexpected occurrence. We cannot expect the accident when it will take place and at what time it will happen. So industrial accident is a sudden and unexpected occurrence. It may send you in a dangerous zone. The type of injuries are depend upon the severity, durability, and degree of the injury. If the injury is very high, we have to inform the regulating authority, such as the factory manager, labor officer, too. When the injuries can be categorized in the three ways: major injuries, minor injuries, and external injuries. So objectives of the industrial safety is like follows. But why we have chosen this subject for this faculty development program is important part, because academics are taught to the student in a very good manner by gentlemen like you or the professors and doctors appointed by the colleges. But the practical difficulty to implement the industrial safety in the industry cannot be came across to the student. So it is very important that student also know how industrial safety can be secured at the time of working with the co-workers or the colleagues. So we can the objectives of industrial safety is to prevent the accident, stop the causes of the accident, then prevent the accident in the industry by reducing the hazardous. And in this way, we can reduce the cost of the accident, which is a huge one and burdensome to the company. While when we stop the accident, when the level of accident of the company is very less or at the zero level, the moral of the every employee working in that industry is very high, and the production or the quality or the productivity of that industry is depend upon the how high the moral of the employee is. If the employee is discouraged due to the high severity rate of the accident, he may be threatened due to the number of accidents taken place in the industry in the last year or the last month. So he will not support fully to the management while he is under the threat of accident. So for that purpose, one of the objective of the industrial safety is to educate the employee frequently regarding safety principle. So these are the safety principles. Now we will see what acts regulates the factory, or who is a regulatory authority for the factory. Just we have seen that what is the accident, what type of accidents are taking into the manufacturing industry. So who can regulate or who can make the ban, or who is the responsible government authority for the purpose of this accident. So Ministry of Labor is the central authority who is governing the state body known as a labor commissioner or the deputy labor commissioner. Under that labor commissioner or deputy labor commissioner, the district factory inspector works. Generally, he inspects all the companies who are situated in his district. We can say as a factory when 10 or more persons are working in a same workplace without the add of the electricity. If 10 or more persons are working in the same premises or in the same campus, that can be called as a factory. Or when 20 or more persons are working in the same campus with the add of the electricity, then the place or the campus can be called as a factory. So the regulatory authority of the district for the factory is factory inspectorate. In Usmanabad also, in Solapur also, we are having offices of factory inspectorate. So the major features of this Factory Act. Factory Act is the major act who regulates the company's safety, health and environment. First and important feature of the Factory Act is health of the employee. Health of the employee as well as environmental health of that campus is more important for running the factory. So then many of the rules are highlighted in the Factory Act for the health of the employee, such as the yearly testing of their health, yearly checking of their yearly checking of the workers, 6-monthly checking of the workers who are working in the hazardous area, then welfare facilities such as a canteen, transportation, corporate attire, then various types of recreation club that can be welfare facilities given under the Factories Act. Welfare of the children is also being considered under the Factories Act. Even though the company is appointing the children, young people, young persons who has attained the age of 18 years, they cannot employ such type of person on the hazardous processes. And the fourth part is safety. Safety starts from the main gate of the company. Now you are observing that in COVID-19 period, safety is such an important part for all the human beings, from children to old persons. Nowadays, safety starts itself from the main gate of the company. Then another feature of the Factory Act is working hours. Every manufacturing unit must have only 8 hours of working for every person. If company or its authorities stops or engage the person for the purpose of overtime, they have to inform such things to the Factory Inspectorate. Employment of the young person, just we have discussed that even though the person has attained the age of 18, even though he is 18 plus or less than 20, that person cannot be appointed on the hazardous processes. Annual leave and annual wages. How much leave, paid leave, sick leave or earned leave the employee can take or the manager can avail, that the rules regarding such type of leave are also provided into the Act. The last part of this Act is penalty and provisions. If any company or any manufacturing unit make the breach of any of the rule or the law mentioned in the Factories Act, they can be penalized. The high action is taken by the factory inspectorate on the occupier of the company or the director of the company or the person who is known as a factory manager of the company. In respect of safety, we can say that earlier, before 5 years, if 300 near miss or close accidents were taking place, then 29 minor accident must be happen there. When 29 accident takes place in any manufacturing activity in a year, there may be a possibility of one serious accident or fatality. You may know the near miss accident. The near miss accident can be defined as the accident may takes place or may not takes place. If one employee is walking on the from the gangway of the company and gangway of the shop, and another person is working at the top of the roof, and if any part was fallen down from his hand on the shop floor near that person who is walking from the gangway or walkway, that is called as a near miss accident. That part may fade down on the floor but would not made any of the injury to that employee who was walking. So such type of accident can be called as a near miss accident. But in these days, due to robotics and developed engineering, the number of accidents in a factory were drastically reduced. Now we can say that when 600 near miss accident takes place in any manufacturing unit, 59 minor accident can take place. If 59 minor accident takes place, and even though the management or the engineers or the employees or the employer neglects those accidents, there is a possibility of one serious accident or one fatality. Fatality, you may know, that is a cause of death. So every manufacturing unit must obey very rigorously the factory acts and try try to secure their employee and employer also. So the causes of accident we can see. Why we have taken this subject now, again I am explaining. The engineers has their prime duty. Engineer, when they join the company may allot them 20 to 25%, on one can say 5% to go and go and do one work or make production or make some melting or some you can say finishing of the job. When the persons are working under one engineer, that engineer must know the provisions of the Factories Act, the provisions of hazardous. Only engineering knowledge is not sufficient in these days to work in the manufacturing unit. So Factory Act or the industrial safety is important one from the angle of engineers. So causes of accident are mostly unsafe action and unsafe conditions. 90% from the analysis, it is noted that 90% or up to 93% of the accidents are taking place due to unsafe actions of the man or mankind or the employees of the we can say employer also. An unsafe act is a failure to do something which a person should have done. We can see that there are so many SOPs, standard operating processes, ISO or ISO, international standard organization processes there, technical systems are there, OSHAs are there, many fire audits are there. Even though we make many processes applicable, the workers who are doing the job may surpass or may made a shortcut to the process and accident takes place. When there is a hurry for working and someone wants to go early to the home and he has been loaded with the full targets or the high targets, he tried to increase the speed of the machines, which is not advisable. And if out of range, the speed has been, if the speed is increased, the accident may take place. Many times, the employee make the adjustment to the machines for the purpose of making job more or the making reading more, and they make the adjustment in the running machine and accident takes place. Unsafe loading also is one of the cause. Now we can see that many of the jeeps or trucks or auto rickshaws are very high loaded. If the capacity of the auto rickshaw is 3 or 4, that rickshaw is loaded with the 6 to 7 persons. In such a way, it takes place in the industry also. If the production capacity of any machines is of 100 job, the management is expecting 150 job or 120 job on that machine. And in this way, the employee try to make more job out of that machine in a speedy or the faster way, and then in such way accident can take place. Using of unsafe equipment or unsafe tools. If the equipments what are given to the employees or the workers are totally unsafe, using of such unsafe equipment can make the invitation to the accident. Now we will see what is the unsafe conditions. Unsafe conditions may be inadequate guarding of the machines, inadequate guarding to the wheels, defective designs of machine or defective construction of the machine, defective layout that also can put the fatigue to the workers, and during the more and high fatigue, the accident can take place. If in the industry their ventilation is not good, the person may be a hectic schedule. Person must have a hectic schedule, and if there is no good lighting or sufficient lighting, accident can take place. Electrical chemical hazard also cause an accident. While purchasing the chemical, with every chemical, there is the supplier provides us MSDS, that is called as a material data sheet. In that sheet, how to handle that chemical, it is mentioned thoroughly. So we have to follow that MSDS sheet and make some person authorized to handle that chemical processes. If unknown person handles such type of chemicals, that will be unsafe condition and the accident takes place. If the electrical engineer or the person who carries out the electrical responsibility, electrical department's responsibility, he must have experience, he must have a surgical hand gloves with him, he must have a shock-proof shoes all the times while he is in the company. And in this way, if he works without such PPEs, personal protective equipment, the accident can take place. Poor housekeeping is also one of the cause. If the shop floor is untidy and unsafe, if many parts of the tools are scattered here and there on the shop floor, it may cause the accident to the employees. So these are the major, there are so many causes of the accident in the industry, but I have mentioned some major causes of unsafe actions and unsafe conditions. Just we will go through what are the unsafe actions. Now you can see that the person has put that ladder into the JCB, and here they are making repair of some electrical works or some wiring works. In another photo, we can see that there is a forklift operator. Three persons are operating the forklift. One forklift is holded into the another forklift, and over that forklift, one machine is loaded, and that machine is uplifted on the first floor, or you can say that the another floor. So these are the very unsafe conditions, and when there is no engineer or no supervisor, people can take such type of chances, and they are making a shortcut process by making such acts and inviting the industrial accidents. So another part just we have seen, that is unsafe conditions. Many times while working into the company, persons has been called for some urgent work and he forget the work or leave that work what he is doing presently and go away without completing that work, but that can be a unsafe conditions for the another employer. So also in another photo we can see that that wheel is not guarded properly, so the employee may that wheel may cause the harm to the employee who is a negligent or who is not in a proper sense. So this type of unsafe condition and unsafe action cause the industrial accident. Types of safety. When manufacturing, as far as manufacturing unit is concerned, there are many types of safety is involved in the manufacturing processes or all over the campus in the company. General safety, it is responsible for all the common industry and which is related to all the common facilities or the manufacturing facilities and the functions going into the manufacturing, that is called as a general safety. Occupational safety and health safety, particularly associated with the occupations. When we are working in the forging industry or the foundry industry, the occupational hazard may be a liquid metal, may be a dust which is come out from the process of the foundry. Also, when we are working in the cotton industry, the very micro spots coming out of that yarn, that can be a occupational hazard, or that can be occupational hazardous to the other employees. Processes and production safety. Uh, in this type of safety, another 4-5 types of safety are there. Material handling safety, then workplace safety, safety issue directly related with the workplace safety, that is more important part while in the manufacturing industry. Fire safety, electrical safety, building structure, building and structural safety. Just we will see the last part, building safety and structural safety. In the earlier we have discussed that factory inspectorate is the authority, regulating authority for the manufacturing unit. How he can regulate the building and structure safety of the company? Every company has to take prior permission of the factory inspectorate before starting the factory. Whatever layout or the designs are there, that must be approved by the factory inspectorate. Every year, manufacturing unit has to carry out the structural unit through the competent authority. If that competent structural engineer provides the building as a good building or standard building, then only company or the manufacturing unit can use such type of building or such type of structure for the purpose of industry. As far as electrical safety is concerned, electrical inspector are also available in the district who comes under the electrical department of the state department. They are also controlling the electrical safety of the company. So these type of safeties are involved in the manufacturing industries. So how, even though this type of accidents are there, this type of threats are there, this type of hazards are there, we should not stop, or we cannot put the threat in our mind that such hazards are available and how we can go for the purpose of manufacturing. We have to think that how we can mitigate, or how we can surpass, or how we can overcome on this type of hazardous or this type of dangerous. So we can ensure industrial safety in the following ways. We can reduce the unsafe condition. For that purpose, we can appoint a safety committee. We can give frequent training or education to all the employees from the MD and up to sweeper of the company frequently. Safety is a very important part of the company, so frequent training in regard to the safety is very necessary. Inspection. Inspection part is very important. Daily inspection of shop floor is very necessary. So at every manufacturing unit, safety officer post is there. Every safety officer has to make the inspection at shop floor on the daily basis. The inspection may be in respect of wearing of PPTs. PPT, you must know very well, personal protective equipments. These equipment must have to be wear while the employees are making manufacturing processes. Role of the government, just we have discussed the role of the factory inspectorate, who is responsible to regulate the safety and hygiene of the company. So role of the government means role of the factory inspectorate or role of the labor commissioner who is situated into the district is important. So how can we break or how can we make the zero accident into the company? There is a logging and tagging processes available in all the companies. Most of your professor or doctors who works in the company or having a manufacturing sector experience, they must know such type of tags. Where there is a danger processes, the tags are put as a circuit breaker lockout. When in such type of area the work is going on, everyone or the engineer has to put such type of tag, and then only he can make the work, so that another persons can be made aware of that. Caution tag. Do not operate this equipment. Many times we in Solapur district we are having a 26 sugar factories. Every year we are observing that 2-3 accidents are taken into the 2-3 fatality accident, 2-3 death cases are happening into the sugar industries. Or we can not only a sugar factories are responsible for such type of accident, but many types of industries are not having such type of caution boards, and one person goes for the repair of machinery on top of the machines or under the machines or in the machines, and another person operates that machine and fatal accident takes place. So caution board is also necessary while working the repair of the machines. Warning tag for the purpose of chemical, for the purpose of electrical high volts, for the purpose of fire, we have to keep the board showing the warning tags. It alerts the person not to enter into such type of area, and it will make the accident level very less, or we can say zero. So tagging process in the industry can minimize the accident into the industry. Advantages of safety program. First advantage of safety program is cost saving. Any accident, even though a social accident, manufacturing accident, any type of accident costs us heavily, which is an unexpected cost for everyone. Every company or manufacturing unit cannot provide for accident a financial provision. Company has no provision for the purpose of accident. We cannot predict that. Now in first quarter, 2 accident can take place, and we will make the provision for 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs for curing repairing the machines and for the purpose of treating the people. So such type of cost provision or financial provisions are not there. And if the accident takes place, it causes huge damages to the machinery as well as human and to the environment also. So if the any accident takes place, that that will be a burdensome to the company, which will be the high cost. So if accident not takes place, that is a cost saving to the company. Increase the productivity. In accident decreases every time the morale of the employee. If number of accidents are more, uh, the employees working in that area may be discouraged for putting their whole heart for the production. So productivity of the person is already depend upon the number of accidents taken place into the company. Moral of the employee. If many of the accidents are taking place in the company, no one will dare to join that company or join that process or join that section which is having a number of accidents. We are having our Kirloskar company is having customers like Kirloskar Toyota, Mahindra and Mahindra, John Deere's, and then we are having many foreign customers also. These customers are making the process audit once in a year. So when they are coming to the shop floor, they are talking with the engineers and directly to the workers also. And if the number of accidents are more, if fatalities are there, the foreign companies are not there or not giving you, will not give you order for their products. They are very strict on this part. When you are not taking the care of your employees, how you will take the care of our product? On that front, they are denying the product order to your company. So, on the perspective of the customer moral or the customer encouragement, it is very necessary that the number of accident in the company must be at a zero level. You know, legal provisions. Just we have discussed. Factory Act is having a very high provision. If any accident takes place, there will be a action on the factory manager of the employee, occupier of the employee, or the director of that factory. So we can say that the cost of legal battle is very high. It takes more time to give the result or to give the judgment, and till that time, company's high authority will be under the mental threat. So legal cost is not also affordable, or legal threat is also not affordable for the manufacturing unit. So these are the advantages. If we keep our safety at the zero level, accident number of accident at the zero level, we will save the cost. We will increase the productivity. The moral of our employees will be very high, and we will having zero court cases on the front of legal grounds. Uh, I just will narrate the long form of the safety word. S means support, safety activity, safety of the environment and the employee must be supported by management. Act means act, safety act must be done by all the persons. It is not the case that only employer can give the training and give the lessons on the safety, and all the persons who are working will make a negligence. So it is the responsibility of all the persons, employee, employer, union, contractor, to act for the safety. Then follow up. We have discussed that there is a ISO process, SOPs are there, standard operating processes are there, Six Sigma is there, 5S is there. So many industrial tools are available for the purpose of increasing the productivity, increasing the production, to keep the quality at the high level. At the same time, there is a many of the processes for keeping the safety in the at keeping the safe workplace and keep the accident at the zero level. Evaluate. We have to evaluate all the SOPs, all the processes frequently, and we have to make the challenge to that processes and ask such processes that even though we are having such type of process, any accident is taken place or what, then train the people. Now training is most necessary part for the purpose of avoiding the accident. And yield, last one is yield to comply. It is after completing all the SAFET, you will get the good yield or good output from all the manufacturing processes and from the employees also. How to control the industrial accident? I am giving only one example. We will see that if there is one unsafe condition is there, guarding all the machines or equipments, how it can be controlled. The causes of this unsafe condition is plant safety inspection. Just we have seen in the earlier slide that inspection is very necessary, and it is the job of the safety officer to make the inspection of guarding of the machines. If inspection is not there and proper guarding will not done, the accident can take place. So unsafe action is that if the person do not know how to guard that machine, he will not put the guard on that machine and accident will take place. So to avoid the unsafe action, we have to educate the people, train the employee how to guard the machine and how to keep himself away from the accident. We have to provide them training, we have to supervise, we have to discuss the mechanical problem with the persons who is operating the machines and try to avoid the accident. Then safety drivers are there for avoiding the accident. Accident prevention measure can be taken by many of the tools. Careful investigation of the accident can be made. It is a very important part that if any accident takes place, even though we are making many of the measures, we have to make the careful investigation of that accident and make alertness amongst all the employees regarding this accident, and we will see that such type of accident will not take place in the future. Safeguarding the machine is the important safeguard, important drive of the company. Regular inspection, audit of the machines. See, when the persons every day goes for the inspection, he may not see what type of negligence are there, or he may take it as a usual process. For that purpose, we have to carry out the third party safety audits of the machines and the processes. Third party must have a different angle who can see that process or the working of that employee from the different angle, and he may suggest some points to avoid the accident. Display of safety posters, slogan, it is also necessary for the purpose to educate the workers and the employee. Safety, just we have discussed, it's a joint responsibility. Only management cannot put in the responsible shoes that because of management only, management's non-availability of equipment or tools or processes, accidents are taking place. Simultaneously, it is the worker of responsibility. It is the responsibility of workers also, colleague also, and team member also. Union and government is also responsible for happening of the accident in the industry. Union cannot demand only for the purpose of increase in the pay or the salary or the wages. They have to go and they also try to educate the worker that they should not make negligence while working, and they should fully aware and full obey the rules and regulations made by the company in this regard. So at the conclusion of the safety part, we can say that engineer can utilize the best technique and can achieve the zero accident target at manufacturing centers. Rules are the best tools. If we follow the acts and rules, we can avoid the zero accident. Safety is a gainful, accidents are painful. Just we have seen that if the accident takes place, company has to incur very huge expenses. At the same time, there will be a pains to the employees also. They may have to lose their hands, foot, or cut injury to their heads also, which will be a non-recoverable injury. So accidents are painful also. Safety must, quality first, and productivity just. This is the slogan every company is using frequently. They want the quality, they want the productivity, but not at the cost of the safety. So safety in the industry is having a high importance, and then comes quality, and then comes productivity. In this way, we will conclude the safety portion or industrial part of our session. Then we will go for the post-COVID and manufacturing industries. We will see the benefits of the COVID, then effects on the business or the manufacturing units of COVID, and actions at shop floor, what we have to take for prevention of COVID. So everyone can now, a little boy who is going into the school can tell the losses due to Corona. But first we will see what benefits we have received from the Corona. It has helped to build a genuine relationship amongst the human. Then entire lifestyle has been changed. Now we are practicing hygiene in a better way. So it is one of the benefit of the Corona. Everyone from the little boy up to senior citizen has got the awareness regarding how we can maintain the hygiene for the prevention of Corona. Then in many manufacturing units, service industries, innovations are taking place in a many ways. So people are making, the manufacturing units are making innovations and research in the way that how they can avoid the Corona disease for their employees and how they can achieve their targets. The fourth advantage is that the stock market was down and we can purchase the blue chip stock of the many of the reputed industries. Fifth and important advantage of Corona is like this: a new wave of tools and software is there. Just we have discussed that many of the companies are searching for new softwares and new tools for going ahead from this out of Corona situation. The remote working is started. That's why we are talking from this. We are talking virtually. If Corona was not there, it will be my luck that I will be in a position to meet with you. But because of Corona, the remote working is taking place and we are unable to meet. But remote working is a good thing. Many companies are saving on this part. The seven affordable seven benefit is like this. The real estate rates have been totally down. So middleman can purchase make the transaction in the real estate. Now the last benefit was like this: education become digitalized and affordable. So we can avoid the expenses on the education, the expenses which are not necessary. That expenses we can now curtail. So this type of benefits we have received out of Corona. Uh, Actually, we cannot see it as a benefit, but these are the factual conditions I can see. The most important from the part of the engineer of the manufacturing industry, there is a high increase in the rate of unemployment. Up to last month, or we can say May 2020, almost 23% or 24% of the Indian people are being unemployed. The most threatened the state under this COVID is Pondicherry. 75% employees has been have to lose their job. We in Maharashtra, 21% has employees lost their jobs, and the least threatened the state is Himachal Pradesh. The only 2% of the employees has been unemployed due to Corona. So we can say that out of these 24 or 26 states, overall 23% unemployment rate is there. So Corona has made a dangerous threat to the employment, which is a what we can say very danger to the employing people and the coming future for the industries. We can see that out of 24 fields, we are having a 24 major fields in which we are working: advertisement, agriculture, construction, food, health. So in last 6 months or last 6 quarters, we can see that only 4 fields, that is food industry, then hard care industries, then media, then pharma. These only 4 industries have made the remarkable growth, or we can say not a remarkable growth, but they are growing somehow. Out of this, out of the 24 major industry, 20 industries, industrial sector are totally in a minus, or they are in a heavy losses. So it is the very danger impact of the Corona that out of 20 fields, 24 fields, 20 fields are running in danger, and these 20 fields created 23% of the unemployment in India. So this is the somehow red pictures due to Corona. Effects on the 4 major sectors we can discuss. Health industry is affected, economy is also affected, social field is also affected, and you in the excellent of the gentleman people in educational sector has also been affected by the Corona. As far as healthcare sector is concerned, challenges in the diagnosis sector are very much increased. We are seeing that whenever the C positive or the Corona positive patient goes into the or admitted into the hospital, he has to pay lakhs of rupees of bill, which will be average 2 lakhs or 3 lakhs. So it is a burdensome to the patients also. Doctors are also been overloaded due to Corona, and healthcare professionals are also finding them in danger to provide their services. Now, as far as economy is concerned, there is very much sluggishness in the product of essential goods. Supply chain is also disturbed. National and international business, import and export have been heavily affected. As far as we social people are concerned, we are disturbed by not celebrating the cultural program, religious program. We are seeing that many of the temples are closed down due to this corona during last 4 months. We are also avoiding the international traveling, picnics, visits to the various spots due to this corona. We at the industry level or the manufacturing unit have made the ban to our employees that they should not travel out of the district or out of the state out unnecessarily. If even very necessary necessary reason is there, they can travel only out of the state or out of the city. So many of the sports competitions, tournaments are being postponed. So all this may had created the stress on the social people. The persons, the senior citizen who are sitting all the way into the residence, or the household women who are sitting all the way or who is spending his time all the way in the house, they are being stressed very much due to this corona. As far as educational sector is concerned, now we are seeing that examination are totally postponed, virtual education is started. There is a doubt about the virtual education, whether it may be effective or may not be effective, because uh, you be a best professor may know better than me that even across the table or in the classroom we taught the students, but students are not getting the correct idea, or they are making the negligence to the academics. So it is a doubtfulness among for the purpose of this virtual education or online education, whether the students will get the correct idea. In this way, their future is in is danger. So, what steps manufacturing unit is taking to provide to contain this corona or to avoid this corona in their units? We at our level having a strategy to contain the corona or to avoid the corona disease in our unit. We have made the social norms. We have made the norms for the social distancing, screening and monitoring of temperature, disinfection and sanitization of the workplace, containment plan is there if any occurrence of C positive in our company, and we are creating frequent awareness in our employees day by day how to avoid the corona situation. Now at present, as far as industry is concerned or the law is concerned, central law has defined that only 50% of the employee can be called into the unit. On that basis only industry can be run. They had made the ban on the crowding of the employees, and such processes can be avoided or can be shifted to the another area. Making at all a crowded gathering places to the facilitate social distancing. Now we are totally avoiding the social gathering or employee gathering into the company. And every day we are screening every employee at the main gate. Unless and until he is having a normal temperature, we cannot allow him to enter into the company. At the same time, we are taking the oxygen level and pulse level of the every employee, and then if the rates or readings are normal, then only the employee can come into the company. Disinfection and sanitization of the company. From main gate we have started this activity. Every day 2 times we are making the disinfection of our unit between the time during the 2 shifts. Just I have told you, containment plans we have made on the occurrence of the case. So we are having this type of A to E strategy for containment of the or avoiding the corona cases at our manufacturing unit. So as far as social distancing is concerned, office and production employees, just we have called the 50% of the employees. So automatically, if when the employees are less on the shop floor or in the offices, social distancing will be maintained. The employees will be divided in the shifts to do their job. Also, to ensure the social distancing, uh, we have made the marks at all the areas, at entry gate, buses, water cooler, all the places we have put the board, and we are inspecting frequently that there should not be a gathering of the people. Rules and guidelines. The central government, state government, or the local governments, as a municipal corporation or the municipal bodies, are making many of the rules for avoiding the corona. So accordingly, we are alternating our policies to avoiding the corona, and we have made many of the policies, such as outdoor going policies, disinfection policies, leave policies. If the person goes more than 2 days on the sick leave, we have made one policy that he should not come without the certificate of civil surgeon or the civil hospital for without the non-corona certificate. At the main gate, just we have discussed, at the main gate, we are making the screening of the people for their temperature level and for the purpose of their oxygen level too. We are having a bus facility at some plant. When the bus comes into the company, it has been made totally sanitized. Every employee has been made aware at the gate itself, and his hand has been, is being sanitized at the main gate only. Then prevention and awareness amongst the people. We have provided mask, N95 mask to all of our employees who is working in the company's area. PPEs has been given, a PPE suit has been given to all the employees who are interacting into the multiple zones. Awareness and education. We have full-time doctor, visiting doctor in our company who delivers frequent lecture to our employees. And we also, through our training program, gives the lecture, books, CDs, videos to our employees to make them aware and educate how to avoid the corona. This type of posters we have displayed around main gate and at the entry point of each of our sections. This is a main gate area of our company. In this way, we have displayed the corona posters, how we can make ourselves aware and how we can avoid the corona. Then we are making the employee with the corona symptoms also. For first 1 to 4 days, it may have a little slight fever. Then for 5 to 8 days, you may suffer from the high fever, and after 9 to 12 days, there may be a high fever, cough, and throat infection must be there, and you will may suffer from the corona. So if any persons or any employee enters into the company, for manager cadre, we are taking online self-declaration that he is not suffering from any type of such fevers, throat infection, or chest pain. For outdoor employees, we are we are taking hard copies of their self-declaration that they are not suffering from the such type of diseases. So this is a containment plan we are having in our hand. We are having an occupational health center in our company. If any occurrence or if any symptoms like person is there, we are treating that person in this isolation area. We have created faith in the employees for to improve their behavior. F, we have made the flexible working hours. A means we are creating awareness, alertness in our employees, inspiring every person. Even though many news are there, media is there, we are treating our employees. We are positive, giving positive training for, to our employees. They should not be upset from their mind. Thankful for what we have and to those who are fighting for us. Police department, doctors department, or we can say nurses. We are making our manufacturing unit is thankful to them. We have provided the police commissioner department 1,000 masks, auto sanitization machine to the 5 auto sanitization machine to the department, and in this way we have uh, shown our gratefulness to these fighting people. H means health is about the everyone's else. So as early as from the beginning, we are giving high importance to the health. And if any employee is sick or having a minor symptoms regarding corona, we are avoiding that type of employee to join the duties. Employee action. So these are the training slides. What I am showing to my employees, what care they should take uh, at the time of starting from their home, from the work for the workplace, and what type of care they should take while going out of the factory up to their home. We have modified the transportation. The two-seat arrangement is converted into the single seat. The managers or the officials who are coming from the four-wheelers, only 2 persons are now being allowed. Public transportation, we have totally avoided. We ourselves are providing the bus or the transportation to our company. This is the entry system we have provided in our gate. Main gate entrance, we are made the queuing system. Everyone has to come into the queue. Then at the second stage, we are scanning the temperature. Third stage, we are sanitizing his hands. Fourth stage, we are having a face punching system so that we should not touch any machine or should not punch through card or we should not make the thumb punching. Uh, in last after completing all this temperature checking, oxygen level checking, hand sanitization, then and then only that employee can join his workplace. Guidelines are defined for the walkways. Attendance, face reading, punching is there. Office working, follow new sitting plans. We are making social distancing at office level also. We are keeping 6 feet away all the employees from each other. Shop floor working is also divided into the shift. Only 50% persons are allowed into shifts. Tea breaks are also made some special arrangement using warehouses in that area also we have made some arrangement. Cleaning taps are auto taps are provided in that area. Spitting is totally avoided in all the factories. Meeting room usage is totally avoided. Gathering of person is totally avoided. We are conducting our meeting on the Google Meet. Work area rules have been made. Foreign domestic tours are already stopped. Very clear understanding has been made. Very clear communication has been made to the employees frequently. Clear understanding, we can say that every fortnight or every week, corporation or municipal body is changing the rules regarding transportation, regarding closing of shops, regarding curfews. So we are making our employees aware, making them aware regarding such type of development or such type of government rules. This gives the confidence to our workers to work in the factory. Things to keep in mind when returning to home, when when our employees goes out of the company. Just hold on. किती मिनिटं झाली? He must have to sanitize his hand. He should not go double seat on the two-wheeler. He should not travel four persons in the one car. He should not go into the shops or malls. Try e-payment in all the places. Such type of awareness are also being made into the company. General awareness is being created in the employee for handling the senior citizen in their home or children below the 10 years in their home. How to take their care. It is also the awareness is also made amongst the employee how they can treat their senior citizen or the children. Precautions for safe. They should avoid the contact each other. While coughing and sneezing, they should make the use of tissue paper or their elbows. Make their surrounding and home must be clean one. Monitor temperature twice in a day. Avoid touching to the face. These are the precautions which one should take to avoid the corona. I myself have made SWOT analysis for this corona. What strength this corona has given to everyone? What weaknesses we can observe among ourselves? The strength is like this out of this corona. Special education is coming out of this corona. Special, we are in a position that we are needing some special skill. This is the awareness coming out of this corona. Access to some certain technologies, intellectual property, efficient, proven, successful business processes. For coming out of this corona, many manufacturing units, many service industries had stringent their processes, and they had proven their process as a successful. Effective business strategies has been formed by manufacturing unit. Positive work culture has been made by the manufacturing unit, and high employee retention is tried by all the manufacturing unit or the employer. So these are the strengths developed during this corona. Weaknesses, what we have felt during this corona is lack of business. Due to corona, there is a lack of business. Negative workplace culture, people are not ready to come for the work. Now we can see that the workers who are came from the Uttar Pradesh or Bihar, they have gone out to their native places. High employee turnover, undesirable locations, and negligence of certain business functions. Many of the businesses who are working on the small scale, they are neglecting for hygiene precautions and hygiene measures. So these are the weaknesses we have observed during this corona. Opportunities out of corona, we Indians can get the following opportunities. Now every country, many of the countries are making ban on the Chinese article. Foreign companies are also closing business in China. So on about two parts, where Indians have a good market, good foreign market as well as Indian market. Potential to work with the corona situation. This is a one opportunity. Now every one of us is washing hands uh, thrice or 4 times in 1 hour. So it is a good opportunity to go with the corona situation and work in the industry. Favorable labor market, increase in the networking business, healthcare business is also increased, and also food industry is also increased. Threats out of this corona is world economic trends are not favorable. Unfavorable labor market is there. Laws and regulations are modifying frequently. So it is one of the threat to our industry. External cyber danger are also one of the issue for the industries. Productivity per person is reduced due to the health issues due to the corona. So these are the threats, opportunities, and strengths what we have what we have seen out of this corona phase. So the present or today just I have gone through the labor market into the Indian industry. During the lockdown, about 12 crores job has been lost by the Indian people up to April 2020. Now during the unlock situation from May and June, almost 3 crores job people has rejoined in the month of May and in the month of June. Even though there is a threat of corona, 7 crore people rejoin in June. So out of these 2 months, total 10 crores people have rejoined their job. And we are seeing that the graph which is failing down on the front of production, sale and employment just now is surviving. So at the conclusion, we can say that during the COVID crisis is putting the pressure to the society, employees, workers to implement the new processes, new practices in very short time. We can observe at our home also that in a day we were washing our hands in 4 or 6 times in a day, but nowadays we are washing our hands 10 times, or we can say 20 times. So corona had put the pressure on all the society, employer and employee to modify or change their lifestyle in a drastic way. Workplace safety and health uh, is getting practical support, must get the practical support. Appropriate preventive measures will help to achieve a safe and healthy return to the workplace. So just we have discussed that how the safe workplace can be made during this corona. That can only encourage the employee to come back to their workplace. Fighting this invisible enemy is not a just responsibility of the police department or the government. Everyone has to keep in their mind that I must have to fight with this corona in from my heart itself. industry can play an important role to stop the corona by the CSR activity, by making health checkup of their employees and families too. Employer and employees can lead the situation by strictly following the safety precautions and succeed in its fight against the corona disease. So at the conclusion, we can say that even the corona situation, COVID-19 situation is there, for next 1.5 years, we have to work with the corona. We can get ourselves alert. We can get aware of very strict rules, get aware with the very strict rules of hygiene ourselves, and avoid the corona situation and fight successfully with the corona. So thank you and keep on creating best engineer. Thank you. Hello. 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 Hello.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello. Thank you, sir.
Yes,
Hello.
just have completed
Hello.
my session.
Thank you. Question? Any
Anyone
question
having
from
any question, you can
audience,
discuss
participants?
with me. Just that I have tried to
On
share
behalf
the
of
practical things what I have done in the last 4 months. You can ask any question regarding the slides.
hello, sir.
Yes.
Madam. On
Hello.
behalf of participants, I'm asking one more question. Then,
Yes.
when we think about the
Hello.
COVID condition, COVID problem, industry
Sir, your voice is not
level as well
audible.
as institute level. In that connection, you are giving a lot of guidance.
Hello.
Hello.
In this COVID situation scenario. Hello.
Yes.
Is it audible, sir? Hello.
Yes,
Hello.
yes, sir. Now you are
In this
audible.
COVID situation. Okay, sir. In this COVID situation, we are facing the industry as well as the institute facing the same problem
Yes.
to take to take care of the preventive measures. In
Yes.
that connection, you are telling a lot of things to us.
Yes.
But we think that our thinking that if you know that any automatic equipments as per the government, and for example, we require the sanitization machine. If you have the any sanitization machine or portable unit of sanitization,
Yes, sir. We are having a auto sanitization machine at our main gate as well as
can you share or can you give such tips regarding such type of low cost equipment so that we can place that equipment at suitable location and everyone can use it as per their requirement, as per their convenience. Such type of equipment,
definitely, sir.
tell us
Definitely, I will provide you the details tomorrow. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Hello.
Okay, sir. No problem, sir. Please.
Hello.
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 Yes,
No,
ma'am.
no. Any question from
Hello. One question from participant, sir. Hello.
audience? Hello.
Hello.
Hi, madam.
Yes.
Bola. Hello. Please speak, madam.
How pressure? Hello, sir.
Madam, please speak.
How freshers has
We
to
are
train
audible.
themselves for getting jobs in mechanical industry?
Now,
Hello?
just now, yes, I am answering your question.
Yes, sir.
Presently, just we are seeing that the employment trend is at a decreasing level. It will take around 2-3 months to improve its condition. So after 2-3 months, we will be in a position to talk about this question, whether that trend will be increasing or decreasing. Nowadays, whatever lockdown positions are there, the position of the employment is depending upon the lockdown process of the government. If government cancels or avoid the lockdowns of many states or the many metropolitan cities, there may be an increase in the employment. So it is depend upon totally on the government rules.
Okay.
No doubt about that. After banning on the total Chinese articles, Indian companies are having a good market. So as far as our unit is concerned, the Kirloskars are concerned, nowadays we are having a good orders in our hand, and we are earning good profit.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Then your session is too good. We are getting very good information related to precautionary measures at industry level as well as our institute level also.
Okay.
And on behalf of management and staff, I'm very, very thankful. In spite of your busy schedule, you come here and give the very great session to our participants.
Okay. Thank you,
Thank you,
sir.
thank
Thank
you
you,
very
sir.
much. And
Okay.
I declare that first day of the FDP Faculty Development Program is now over. Next session we will meet tomorrow, same time 3:50 p.m. and accordingly we start the second day, that is the third session of this FDP.
Okay. Okay. Thank you,
Okay,
sir.
thank you, sir.
I am also thankful to the
Thank you very
management of
much. Once
Terna
again, thanks to
for giving me the
sir.
opportunity to share my thoughts with your management team and students and colleagues and gentlemen. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Bye.
Thank you. Good day.
Okay.
Take care. Stay home. Stay safe. Thank you, sir.
बाय सर तुमचे 2 तास घेतले बघा आम्ही